life of a Spurs fan, eh? Um, the question is, will I ever see Tottenham Hotspur win a game ever again? Will any of us? Maybe not. That's 3 losses in a row and a pretty rough week to be a Spurs fan, or 2 weeks. Losing 4-0 to Newcastle, losing 3-2 to Arsenal, and 2-0 to Chelsea. And what's more worrying or shocking is the fact that obviously we went 4-0 down at Newcastle, but we went 3-0 down against Arsenal, and obviously now we've gone 2-0 down to Chelsea. So, you could technically say at some point we've been down, was that 9-0, essentially. And it also means that we're destined to lose, or we're going to go 1-0 down in our next game if we follow the pattern. We have Liverpool next, which is a loss, by the way. I didn't think for 1 second we would come into this game and win. I didn't think we would beat Newcastle, not a chance. I think we would lose 4-0? No, but I didn't think we would win that. I didn't think we would beat Arsenal. But there was a little part of my brain that thought it's a home game in a North London derby. Maybe. Against Chelsea, I didn't literally think for 1 second we were going to win that. Look at our record, history, how we're playing at the moment, our away form, the fact that we look really soft away from home. And the Liverpool game, there's no result in that. We're not winning that game. I would literally, there's 0% we win it. That's kind of the point I'm at with Spurs this season. I'm kind of done with this season now. I feel like a lot of us in the past few seasons has reached this point a little earlier. I would say I reached it 31 games into the season. We've had it with Conte last year. I think we were all out about 25 games in. We didn't really care what happened towards the end. I think the second season under Mourinho, I think we all felt that after we lost the Carabao Cup final. And yeah, that's how I feel now. I don't care about the Liverpool game. I didn't really care about tonight. Even the Arsenal game, I didn't even really feel anything. Obviously, I wanted us to beat Arsenal. But, usually after a North London derby, if we lose, I'm fuming, my day is ruined. The day after, I wake up in a mood. Didn't really feel it this time. And I think that's just because it's expected. The season's over. We're pretty shit. On to next year. And yeah, tonight was poor, man. Tonight was poor. And it's the same patterns we're seeing in every game. We're so narrow, right? So we're kind of built for sort of tiki-taka football by being so narrow. Yet we cannot actually keep the ball. We cannot play tiki-taka football anything like we did in the first 10 games of the season. The first touch of all our players is actually shocking. Like Basuma, Son, even Kulusevski today was bad, and he usually does have a very good first touch. Pape Sarr, it's just so off it. Pedro Porro, and a lot of our passes are overhit. They're too short. They're not picking out the right passes. We're not doing it quick enough. It's just not working, right? Our players have, I think, kind of resigned this season now. It's not that they've stopped trying completely, but there's just not that same focus as there was earlier on in the season. I think you can see that with the pace of play. I mean, it's so slow. We were playing really good football at the start of the season, really good. And now, it's actually not the results that's concerning me. It is the football. The whole thing with Ange is that it was supposed to be very good, very entertaining. It really hasn't been for quite a while. And something I found amazing coming into this game, or after this game, is if you remember when we played Chelsea at the start of the season, before that game, we were 14 points ahead of them, right? 10 games into the season, we were 14 points ahead of Chelsea. Since then, Chelsea are now 9 points behind us. So that obviously means in the past 24 games, Chelsea have actually got more points than us, which is pretty mad. And yeah, I mean, it's really poor because this is a bad Chelsea side. Now, it's not as bad. They're not as bad as they are in the table, as their position in the table. I don't know if that makes sense. But when you watch them against top teams, they can have really good performances. They do have good players. I think Nico Jackson is a good player. I didn't at the start of the season. I do now think he is good. Although he is very unclinical. Like, super unclinical. Cole Palmer is obviously like a superstar level talent. But Conor Gallagher is obviously very good. Cucurella always plays amazing against us. I think he's Kulusevski's worst nightmare. In fact, if you noticed, I actually think that might have been a tactic of Pochettino's, that he noticed that Kulusevski had struggled against Cucurella because Cucurella in the first half was so narrow. He was practically a CDM, a 6 for Chelsea in that first half. So I don't know whether that is something Pochettino saw. Yeah. And in those 24 games, I've got it here, it's really worrying because in those 24 games, we have won 10, lost 10, and drew 4. Now, that's 34 points across 34 Premier League games. Now, if you were to average that out in a 38-game season, you would be looking at roughly, what's a third of that? You're roughly looking at another 12 points or 14 points. So if that was a 38-game season, if that form carried on, we would be on about 52 points, ignoring the first 10 games, and you were just looking at the previous 24. If we were to have that in a season, if you were to average that in a 38-game season, you would come up with about 50 to 52 points. And that's where Chelsea are. So that is worrying because we have such good players, such talent, man. Like, Kulusevski is talented. Maddison is really talented. Son, obviously. Papsar, Bentancur, Pedro Porro, Udogi, Romero, Van de Ven, Vicario. We have such a good starting 11 there, and some good substitutes as well, like Lo Celso. I mean, I think he must have killed Ange's parents or something because, God, he does not play with Lo Celso, and Lo Celso comes on and does better than James Maddison pretty much every game lately. Even today, we looked so much more creative there with Lo Celso on the pitch, but he just gets a measly 6 minutes every single game. And yeah, we have a good team, a good squad, but we're not getting points. We're not performing well. Every win we've had as well, those 10 wins, they're not good wins, by the way. Like, the Forest one wasn't great. The Brighton one wasn't great. The Crystal Palace one wasn't really great. Let me have a look at some of them here. The Luton one wasn't really good. The Aston Villa one was a little bit overrated. I actually think with 10 men we could have played better than we did. The Brentford one just narrowly beat Brentford 3-2. Who else is on here? I mean, the Bournemouth one, okay. But it's not great. It's really not great at the moment. The season is done. Chelsea beat us again. And Pochettino's done a double over us. Which is a massive shame. It really is. Because, obviously, he's a traitor. He is a massive traitor. I actually wanted to discuss the first half, I remember now. Because the stats in that first half, if I just look at this, I think this is going to be very loud on the mic. So if you look at the first half, right? They had 11 shots. We had 3. They had 3 shots on target. We had 0. There is no excuse for that whatsoever. And we saw Ange, didn't we? Really angry on the side. That's not a surprise because we were so shocking. But a lot of the commentators were saying, the commentators were saying you know, this is a poor Spurs performance. We're not playing to our level. This actually has been our level for a while now. Maybe not as bad. I don't know. I think we have been this level now for a few months. Um, this isn't a unusual Tottenham performance. This is what we have been. And I just want to mention actually before I wrap this up, it's about the front line. I mean, there was nothing, was there? And when you actually do look at it, it is a lot of mid going on there. You know, Richarlison is mid, right? We got Son on the left. It's proven now he is very mid on the left. The guy cannot dribble. Excellent finisher. I think he's an excellent striker, by the way. But he cannot dribble. He cannot take a man on. And he doesn't shoot anymore, which is very disappointing. I miss the occasional Son banger from the edge of the box. He doesn't shoot, which is disappointing as well. And then you look at Kulusevski, and as a player, I really do like him. I think he has a lot to offer. But as a right winger, you can't deny for 2 seasons it's been very mid as well. And Brennan Johnson has been mid this season. He's had some good moments, even this game, you know, running down the right wing, and he's put in some good crosses. But it's mid, isn't it? Who else is there? I don't know. Who cares? It's pretty mid. Werner, mid. We need some very drastic changes in that forward position, which we won't get. We spent £50 million on Brennan Johnson. We spent £60 million on Richarlison. We cannot really afford to go out there now and buy better players. We're kind of stuck with these players, I think, which is worrying. And yeah, this result isn't a surprise. It's disappointing. This is the one you think maybe you can win, but it's Chelsea away. We don't beat Chelsea away. Liverpool next. We're not winning that. The only game I can see us really winning now is maybe Burnley, and even then, do I think we'll win? Maybe a draw. Sheffield United away. It really wouldn't surprise me if we lose that as well. So a very poor end to the season after such a good start as well, but no other team quite drastically has a drop-off like Spurs, do they, in seasons? How many times have we been in a title race in the first 15 games of the season, and by the end of it, we're 6th or 8th or 7th? You know, it's happened so many times in the past 6 years. It doesn't really happen to anyone else, any other club. So, disappointing, 2-0 loss. It's nothing unexpected though. And yeah, do I really care? A little bit. I do care a little bit. You know, obviously I'd rather us win, and the performance was frustrating, but it's what I expect. So let me know what you thought of it. I don't know, even if you're a Chelsea fan, if you're watching this because you like to indulge in some Tottenham misery, I don't blame you. I really don't. But you are a knob if you are watching this and you're a Chelsea fan. Just letting you know. But anyway, if you have enjoyed, give it a like, subscribe, because I will be doing more reactions. Got a video coming. It'll be next Thursday. So there'll be a Liverpool reaction, and then a video on Thursday then. I won't say what it is yet, but it will be very good. The idea is fantastic. And yeah, much more to come. So I hope you enjoyed, and thank you for watching.